And, seriously, Westerners will say, let's leave the past in the past. Let's leave the past behind us and focus on the future. What's done is done. Let's just move forward. I mean, subhanallah. Never mind how criminally obnoxious and dismissive that attitude is in terms of justice for your victims. Forget about that. Can you imagine trying to make that your legal defense in court? A serial killer in court saying as his defense before the judge, well, Your Honor, what happened. I think everyone should just move on. The defense rests. Wallahi, you're not a civilization. You're a satire of a civilization. But the thing is, okay, maybe it's conceivable. Maybe the world would be willing to let bygones be bygones, let the past be in the past. But you never stop doing it. Like I said, you're carrying out an ongoing, decades-long Holocaust against the Muslims worldwide. Like what? You stab me in the chest, and then you pull the knife out, and in that moment, you tell me to forget about the stab wound that you just inflicted. It's ancient history, and you're a changed man. Right before you stab me again. Wallahi, that's insane. All the Muslims that you regard as extremists, all the ones that you accuse of being extremists and so on, they're extremists because of you. And I don't mean that your violence and terror in the Muslim world is what made them extremists. No. I mean their extremism itself smacks of Western thinking. They think of Islam the same way that you think of Islam. That's the level of their understanding. They're as ignorant about Islam as you are, and in the same way that you are. And they approach conflict the same way that you approach conflict. Their whole mentality is a replica of Western thinking. Yes, so-called extremist Muslims are the most westernized Muslims there are. Because they're the most like you. They think like you, they act like you, and they hate like you. And really, it's ironic. But it's just like Zionists. That whole movement, that whole anti-Judaic, mostly atheistic movement, that secular movement of Zionism was informed by European Jews who wanted to be like you too. It's the same thing. They wanted to stop being bullied by you, and they wanted to become bullies themselves. These were the original Zionist Jews. They thought that Judaism made Jews too soft. It made them too acquiescent. It made them too patient with persecution. So they wanted to act like savage, violent Westerners, just like you. They wanted to act like the people who were persecuting them. And it's the same with these extremist-type Muslims. They didn't learn about jihad from Islamic jurisprudence. They learned about it from Rambo. They learned about it from your own crackhead-like addiction to violence. They're nothing but Muslim gangbangers, wannabe gangsters, just like the Zionists and just like you. Meanwhile, Muslims who are actually deeply rooted in Islam, deeply rooted in Islamic knowledge, they have sabr, they have patience, they have wisdom, they have restraint, they have self-control, endurance, and resilience, and they have reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not competing in the dumpster fire Olympics to see if we can out-savage you. We're not trying to outdo you in being humiliatingly reprehensible. We've been around for a long time. Muslims have been around for a long time, and we've seen violent, reprehensible empires come and go. And you're more violent and you're more reprehensible than most of those. So all that means is you're going to be gone even sooner. We understand that in the broader scope of history, you're doing nothing but attack us with an ice pick while we're a glacier. There's only one way that this is going to go, and it's not your way. But going back to your question, you should understand really how embarrassing it is. Embarrassing to yourselves when you accuse anyone of anti-Semitism or anti-Jewish hatred or any other kind of degenerate bigotry, when you're the ones who taught degenerate bigotry to the world. So all you're doing when you accuse someone else of doing that is giving them acknowledgement of being a good student of the West. When you call someone an extremist or what have you, anti-Semite, anti-Jewish, bigot, or what have you, or you say that they're hateful or any of that sort of thing, all you're doing is you're just giving them a certificate as a graduate of Western so-called civilization.